Howdy meowdy, I am the TheDamCat Gaming and I welcome you to round 5 of the Gran Turismo Racing Community's GT3 series. This is round 5 and it is going around Suzuka. But before we get into it, let's just quickly go over what this series is about as a friendly reminder to everyone. We're going to start off with the calendar. This is round 5, so this is at Suzuka. The next round will be in 2 weeks at the Nürburgring GP circuit. This is the list of cars. As I mentioned before, nearly every manufacturer has at least one participant. I think McLaren is the lone manufacturer that has no representation in this series. We have several AMGs, there's someone in the Aston, someone in the Audi, someone in the BMW, someone in the Dodge. Quite a few Ferrari drivers. There's someone for the Lamborghini. There's someone in the Lexus, a couple people in the Nissan, and quite a few in the Porsche. And each race is 1 hour long. And prior to the race, we do a brief qualifying session. It is generally going to be an out lap and 2 flying laps to determine our time in practice mode. This is not like a lot of other series. This was an active necessity way back when when GT7 first came out. Lobby races did not have a qualifying mode. And so this is what GTRC came up with to get around that, and it has stuck. It is now the modus operandi for series. Tire wear is 3x, fuel rate is also 3x. This means that for every lap around the track, it is as if we have used 3 laps worth of tire wear and 3 laps worth of fuel. Fueling rate is at 8 liters per second, and weather is random. At this track at Suzuka, weather is a concern because in GT7 it can rain. And for the series, there are 2 required compounds. Every driver must use both hards and mediums for a minimum of 5 racing laps. Coming into this round, we have Superboy leading the charge at 71 points. Maple Syrup, or Ishmael, at 52 points in second. Mike is the third place at 47. Petrol is in fourth at 44. Bar is in flag or tied at 43 for fifth. At seventh is Razor at 40 points. And then there's a major drop off to everyone else. Tron Kobe in 8th with 26, Eagle 9th, 22, Type R in 10th at 21, TheDamCat in 11th at 20th with 20. Doug Barrow is 12th at 18 points, UU 17, ATB also 17. Tap, a reserve here in the series at 16, and the remaining registrants have yet to participate. So we did our qualifying, and this was our qualifying result. Ishmael took pole, followed by Supra, Mike, Bar, Air Razor, ATB, Petrol, Doug Barrow, Drone Colby, Type R, and TheDamCat breaking up the rear. Now, without much more to it, let's get to the footage. Let's see how this thing went. This series, where possible, it is a rolling start. And we have Ishmael pulling away. Right off the bat, going into Geeks carries the lead in turn 1. Super still in second. Mike is in third, going through turns 1 and 2. Bars up to fourth. Razor in fifth. ATB looked like he went a little wide going into turn 1, but he manages to hold on to sixth. Petrol's right there in seventh. We have Doug in eighth. Tron in ninth. Type R in 10th. And TheDamCat or SDs as our nickname says at the rear. It's coming through the S's here. We have Ishmael holding on to the lead. Super is still keeping close. Mike is right there, and already a gap is beginning to form between Mike and Bar. Got Razor still right behind him, and then Petrol, like ATB, got a little wide there, and he's just kinds of cluster there. ATB drops 2 more positions for that little mistake he made. Type R and TheDamCat closing in right behind him. Ooh, I don't know what happened there. Looks like TheDamCat might have clipped the back of Type R, so I had to check up there. No harm, no foul. That keep going. Then we get to Spoon, Ishmael, and Type R and Superboy. Are right there, still there, and Mike is right there lurking. He's close by. Razor has gotten around Bar, as has Petrol. Bars continue on in 6th. Doug is lurking behind in 7th, with Drum Kobe and ATB right behind. Type R and TheDamCat breaking up the rear. Coming up here into the final chicane, we have Superboy going around the outside to take the lead here. By the end of lap 1, Mike is still there in 3rd. Razor is in 4th. Petrol right behind in 5th. Bar falling back in 6th. Doug looks to be closing in 7th. Tron is right behind him in 8th. ATB in 9th. Type R 10th. And TheDamCat. Something happened. He's much further back now. Not sure what happened there, but carrying on. Ishmael's still right there behind Superboy. Looks to be just biding his time, maybe not exactly pushing to get back ahead at this time. Just basically staying close. Same with Mike. Petrol's gotten around Hair Razor. I don't know. I think Hair Razor might have made a little screw up there, but that AMG's gotten around the Porsche of Hair Razor. Bar not too far behind, but still losing toe. He goes wide there. That's not going to go well for him. That is definitely going to let Doug Barrow catch up. Tron, and we see ATB get it wrong here. And he falls yet another position. We have Superboy. He's still got the lead. He's trying to pull a gap, but Ishmael is keeping close. But these two are slowly pulling away from Mike.'s still there, close enough to take advantage of a mistake, but a gap is slowly forming here. We have Petrol and Razor going at it. If they duke it out like this, they're going to allow the front 3 to get away from them. Ideally, they're going to want to kind of work together and just try to keep with these top 3. Doug has gotten around Bar, who's now in 7th. He's got Trump Kobe right behind him. Got 130R. Type R is in 9th. ATB in 10th. And TheDamCat in 11th. Alright, so we have Superboy. He's still leading the charge. Putting that inside line there, which is not really the normal line to go through the home stretch here, but it's the line he chooses to go. Ishmael just follows behind, not really pushing matters at the moment. Just trying to keep ahead of Mike and ideally continuing to build a gap. Petrol and Razor are trying to close in on this front back here. Try to make it eventually maybe a 5-way battle for the lead at some point. Okay, Doug, ooh, getting a little squirrely. He's got Bar right behind him, and Tron is right behind Bar. Meanwhile, already a bigger gap is formed between Type R and Tron. Type R has ATB right up on his rear, and TheDamCat is lurking. He's just trying to get by, looks like. Alright, coming back to the front, we have Superboy, Ishmael, Mike, Petrol, and Razor, all basically, almost basically a pack. A small gap between Mike and Petrol, but this has the potential to turn into a 5-way battle. We have Doug and Bar. Bar right now is trying to attack Doug here. Whether or not he succeeds or not is another story. Nope, not going wild like that. He's not. Cuts in right in front of Tron. Nice little nudge there. Trying to help him get back up to speed. Bit unsafe, but what can we do? He didn't quite have full control of the car. I think going out of spoon. So it is what it is. But that lets Type R and ATB slowly close in on these two a little bit. Whether they actually completely close the gap is to be seen. Meanwhile, we have Supra again running that inside line and moving right as he gets there. That's an interesting line to be taking. That's not the normal line for people. Yeah, Ishmael, Mike, he's under attack from Petrol right now. He's lost touch to Ishmael a little bit, and now he has the AMG of Petrol right behind him. We have Razor, who's got a front row seat to these two, and he is ready to pick up the pieces in this battle. We have Doug here in 6th still, pulling away from Bar, who's trying to pull away from Tron. We have Type R and ATB. Type R, arguably a defensive specialist here in the field. Can he keep ATB behind him? He's got a long way to go. He's going to do that. If these two do get out, that actually might let TheDamCat get involved, but he's kind of far back at the moment. I think they're just worried about them two going forward. Going back to the front, we have Superboy leading the way. He's trying to pull away from Ishmael, but Ishmael's not going away. We have Mike, who's right there as well, but he's got an AMG up his rear. The Petrol is challenging. He is threatening right now. And basically, any small mistake from this Porsche of Mike, and that's position gone for Mike, but he manages to keep the AMG behind him for the time being, and Razor's going to continue to lurk here. We have Doug and Bar, same as they've been for basically the past lap now. Bar's right there, close enough to tag along, but not so close to be able to do much more than that. Something happened here. TheDamCat got around Type R and ATB. There's no telling what happened there. That's not to be expected. Alright, back to the front. We have Superboy and Ishmael. They're pulling away, and we see Petrol's gotten around Mike, who's now got Hair Razor behind him. Ooh, it goes a little wide there. Gotta be careful of doing that, otherwise you'll find yourself making sandcastles. There we go. Here we have Doug here in 6th. He's pulling away from Bar, who's got a small little gap to Tron behind him, and then there's a big gap here to the Dodge Viper of TheDamCat, who's got Superboy right behind. Type R right behind, and ATB is right behind, close enough to do some damage if Type R makes a mistake. Back in the front, we have Superboy still leading the way. Ishmael is not really trying to close the gap at the moment. He's just trying to stay there. Petrol's wanting to get involved with these two up front, though, so Petrol does seem to be pushing his way up. He's pulling away from Mike at the moment, who's about to become a victim to Hair Razor here in a moment, as He just doesn't seem to quite have the pace of the two cars around him at the moment. Could be a entire compound difference. Very possible that Mike is on one compound and Razor and Petrol are on two different compounds. You have Doug trying to run away from Barr here, who's picked up a half-second penalty at some point. The only corner I could think of where that would have happened is going to be 130R. We have the TheDamCat, Type R, and ATB. ATB is right on the rear bumper of Type R. And potentially within the next corner or two, we might see a move be made. Actually, we might potentially see a move made here on the straight. If ATB gets the run, but he doesn't. Going back to the front, we don't want to lose these two. Much too bad. We have Supra still ahead of Ishmael here. Ishmael is right there. He can attack if he wants to, but he seems to be just chilling, kind of keeping up, keeping pace. It's still early in the race, so there really isn't a need to go balls to the walls at this point for these two. They just need to kind of not battle and let the cars behind them battle in order to try to build a gap. We have Petrol in third. He's got some clean, a little bit sort of clean air. He's trying to get away from Mike, who's trying to fend off Razor, who's not really pushing at the moment, just kind of like Ishmael, just trying to keep there in this slipstream, just kind of stay in there, kind of like lurking basically. We have Doug, like Barr's about to serve his penalty. Just see Barr move to the left here to get off the racing line as he serves that penalty. That's going to allow Trone to close in on him. And we see the TheDamCat going wide, coming back on the track. Then we've seen ATB has gotten his way around Type R. And now we see, coming back to the front, we see Ishmael peeking here, maybe trying to make a move on Supra, but decides against it. As he'll tuck in behind, and we see behind these two, Petrol's picked up a penalty. That's something that they're going to want to see, because that means that's one less car to worry about. Meanwhile, we have Mike and Razor right there, who they can keep up there with Petrol. They can both get around him when Petrol goes to serve his penalty. Then we have this Doug, Barr, and Trone pack still carrying on. Nothing really changing between these three. And then we have the TheDamCat with ATB on his chuff now. So we have that superior handling GTR against basically closing in on the straight line menace that is the Viper. And Viper showing why I just said that. Around he goes. That's going to allow Type R to take a gain of free position. And back to the beginning. Alright, so we have Superboy. He's still got the lead. He's still got Ishmael right behind him. Again, just threatening, kind of lurking, not really pushing. And then we see Petrol was able to keep the third place, but he has got Mike and Razor right there behind him after serving his penalty. So that's just allow the gap between these three and these two to get that much bigger. And while those two are not battling, unless these three work together, they're not going to close in on the two in front unless they work together at this point. Meanwhile, we have Doug in 6th, Barr in 7th, Trone in 8th. Nothing changing here. You have ATB and Type R in 9th and 10th. And the TheDamCat way back after his little unfortunate spin. It kind of drives like he doesn't get enough practice for this. Anyway, Superboy, he's in the lead still. He's actually got a little gap forming here between him and Ishmael. Wonder if Ishmael may have just made a small mistake, and that little mistake was just enough for that tiny gap right there to form. We all know Ishmael can close it up whenever he's ready to push. But I don't think Ishmael is really pushing here. Meanwhile, these 3 cars behind him are definitely, well, Petrol's definitely pushing right now. He wants to get away from the 2 Porsches behind him, and he wants to close in on that Audi in front of him. Meanwhile, I think these 2 Porsches kind of just want to follow the AMG up to the 2 fronts. They're not really trying to get around each other at the moment. Meanwhile, we have Doug and Trone. Where'd Bar go? Oh, Bar's behind him. Bar's right. Bar went to pits. I saw that. I didn't comment on it. That's fine. That's why Bar's back here. Bar, this guy came out of pits. He's on an outlap. I guess he had enough of whatever tire he was on before. Come back to the front. This is where the more interesting stuff's going on at the moment. We have Superboy. He's still got a good gap over Ishmael. Petro, Mike, and Razor all right there. All very close to one another. These 3 a little closer. Then we see Super keeps taking that weird line on the left-hand side, or on the right-hand side. The racing line's on the left. But you see he keeps going to the right, which is kind of a defensive line. But you know, Ishmael at that point was not close enough really for him to be defending, so interesting choice of line, I guess. Alright, so Petro's in 3rd. We have Mike. Razor's still right here close by. You know, Petro's starting to run away from the 2 Porsches. You would think the Porsches around here would catch up a little bit on the AMG, being that the Porsches are, at least theoretically, a better handling car. We have Doug in 6. This is not what we're used to seeing this guy. We're used to seeing him fighting with these lot up here. But he's kind of way back with Trone, just kind of staying close by. Right now, Mike is closing in a little bit on Petrol here. We do see that there is still a gap between Petrol and Ishmael. Then Mike and Razor. Razor is still just there. He's lurking. He's not really, doesn't really seem to be pushing very much either. Kind of like Ishmael with Superboy. Ishmael seems to just be content to stay behind Supra, kind of using it maybe to stay in that slipstream, save some fuel, maybe forcing Supra to burn a little bit more, which means that Supra may have to pit sooner. Anyway, we have Petrol here in 3rd. He's closing in on that Audi a little bit. There's still a gap though. We have Mike and Razor here in 4th and 5th, and they're just Razor's just following him behind. We have Doug in 6th. He's got Trone not too far behind in 7th. ATB and Bar are right on each other right now, with the Bar right behind the GTR of ATB. Bar looks like he might want to make a move here, but he's probably going to back out of it. He's going the long way around. He's actually made the move. Porsche's gotten ahead of that GTR. Bar went the hard way around to get into 8th place. Now he's got a ways to go try to catch up to Trone, but he's got ATB right behind him still. ATB's probably not going to go down without a fight here. He's probably going to try to reclaim that position, or at least keep close to take advantage of any mistakes that Bar makes between now here and you have Type Bar in 10th. He's falling back, but still keeping on. We have the TheDamCat bringing up the rear. He might be closing in on Type R, but can't really tell from here. Coming back to the front, we have Supra and Ishmael. And Petrol is right there now, so this could get very interesting here with Petrol now closing in on the Audi, who is, again, just lurking here behind Superboy. Ooh, the AMG goes way wide there. That could potentially be a penalty for Petrol, and the Porsches of Mike and Razor are right there as well. These four in a nice line. They're all within each other's slipstream now, so this could get very interesting here as we keep going along. Especially since we're not really seeing much anything else. Ooh, what's this? We see Razor right up, basically almost pushing Mike into the S's here. And Mike flirting with a disaster, almost touching the grass there, and that's a very devastating way to lose it if you do that. It's like the grass, especially going into that corner, is like a vacuum. You get on it, and the grass just pulls you the rest of the way off. We're about 20 minutes, a little over 20, almost 22 minutes in now. Supra still has basically held the lead from lap 1. Ishmael started on pole, but he fell to second. He's kind of just sat there the entirety of the race so far. Petrol has clawed his way up to being behind these two. He's trying to make his presence known. And then you have Mike and Razor, who are close behind. They're not as close, but they can make things interesting if any of these top three make a mistake. See, Petrol does dip into the pits to get off of the mediums, and we have Doug and Trone. We have Bars put a gap on ATB. So I'm guessing the fresh tires of Bar gave him the advantage over the older tires of ATB. We have Type R here in 10th, cruising along, and we have the TheDamCat. He is indeed closing in on Type R. It's taken him a good bit of time to get where he can see him at least, but he's clearly closing the gap at this point. Alright, coming back to the front, we have Superboy still in the lead. He's got about maybe a half-second gap, maybe to a second at most, over Ishmael. Petrol is no longer in this top three as he dove into the pits. This opens up a substantial, a 3 to 5 second gap between Ishmael and Razor, who did at some point get around Mike. You know, I have Razor in third place, Mike is in fourth. And Mike, like I noted earlier, Mike really doesn't, at least at this stage, doesn't seem to have the pace of Razor. Razor was just, like I said earlier, we're just really just lurking, just waiting for an opportunity, and I'm guessing the opportunity came knocking and Razor took advantage. But now these two really should try working together to close in the gap to these two. Whether or not they do or not is another story. We'll just wait and see on that one. We have Doug has moved up into 5th with Petrol's diving into pits. He is coming around Spoon now. And we see Trone right there behind in 6th, and Petrol is right there in 7th. Got a little swirly coming out, but keeps it under him, keep going forward. We have Bar here in 8th still, we have ATB in 9th, Type R still in 10th, and the TheDamCat is still here in 11th. Closing, just reeling in Type R slowly but surely. Showing that Viper can have pace, it's just gotta be consistent with it. Moving back to the front, we see Razor's dove into the pits, which is going to allow Mike to move here in the third. He is now on his own, and he is losing touch to Ishmael and Superboy up here in front. Doug is in fourth. Tron right behind him in fifth. Petrol is now in sixth. We know Petrol is going to want to get around Tron Kobe sooner rather than later. Whether or not he is able to or not remains to be seen. We have Razor coming out of pits behind Petrol in seventh. Then we have Bar still in 8th, A2B in 9th, Type R in 10th, and TheDamCat in 11th. Super still got the lead. He's held the lead for 12 laps now, going on to the 13th lap. Ishmael is close behind, and just clerking, kind of using him for slipstream more than anything else. I think he's just not exactly trying to push ahead at the moment. Just working, maybe trying to occasionally apply pressure, but nothing beyond that. We have Mike here in third. He's trying to close in the gap, I think, but that's a pretty big gap to try to close up on. We have Doug now in fourth with the pit signals still going on. Drone is in fifth, and Petro, woo, got a little slidey around there. Keeps it under him and continues to charge forward, closing in on Tron slowly but surely. We have Razor behind here in seventh. Might want to push he might want to push just a little bit to try to close in on Petrol. Try to not lose touch, basically. We have Bar in 8th, A2B in 9th, Type R is still in 10th, and TheDamCat is still in 11th. Just reeling in that BMW slowly but surely, so long as he stops doing that. You have Superboy still in the lead here. Ishmael still in second. He's right there. He's just there. He can get closer and apply pressure, but kind of the downside to constantly trying to apply pressure is that you end up pressuring yourself if you're not careful. And you can induce yourself to make a mistake. So I think Ishmael's doing the right play here. He's just closing in. He's staying close. He's not actively fighting at the moment. We see Mike here in third. And ways behind Mike, we have Doug, Tron, Petrol, and Razor all in a bunch now. Well, Petrol are closer anyway. Petrol was closer to Tron, but so just trying to get the tires to get some grip. He's got the fresher tires, so he should have the advantage over these two cars in front of him. Razor's tires are slightly more fresh, so Razor could have an advantage there, although fuel loads may speak a different story. See Bar here is in 8th, we see Type R is in 9th, A2B is in 10th, but he just came out of the pits. A fresh pit stop, and we see TheDamCat is also on fresh tires and fuel with a being on an outlap now. Alright, so we have Superboy and Ishmael coming out of turns 1 and 2, coming into the S's. Ishmael is maintaining that basically half second to a second gap to Super. He's basically stayed there the entire time. We see Tron is going to make his pit stop now. Not quite the halfway point. So seeing a lot of potential 2 stops just based on when the pitting is being done. We have Mike here in third. He is not too far behind. Let's say about, let's use this bench over here. It's gonna be about 8 or 9 seconds, maybe 10 seconds between Ishmael and Mike. There's a huge gap, probably 20 or more seconds between Doug and Mike. Petrol is now in 5th with Trone having dove into pits. Air Razor's right behind, and they're both closing in on Doug here pretty quick. We have Barr in 7th. He went into pits very early. So, should actually expect to see Parr probably pitting again here on the next few laps. Woo! Rear end got a little squirrely on him. He kept it under him, so still going in the right direction, still going forward. Drone is out in no man's land here in 8th. ATB in 9th. Type R in 10th. TheDamCat is still here, trekking along here in 11th. Mike is briefly taking the lead with Superboy and Ishmael both diving into the pits at the end of lap 15. So we know the top 3 at least are, and probably in Doug as well, all seem to be shooting for a 1 stop, because they're pitting at the halfway point. Doug has his hands full now with Petrol and Razor right there looking to get around Doug, taking that defensive inside line. And for the moment, Doug is going to be in 2nd with Petrol in 3rd, but Petrol is making that move on the inside. And this is a spicy little meatball going on here. You have Doug holding on to 2nd place, fighting for his life. The Mercedes of Petrol right behind him. Razor's right there as well. And Supra and Ishmael are also right there. They came out right behind each other. So with Mike kind of on his own in the lead at the moment, you have Doug fending off a host of cars who all want to get around him. We have Razor and Petrol going side by side coming into this hairpin. Petrol makes a very late dive. Kind of think that might have been evasive maneuver to not send Doug off the track. And manages to retain this position. We see Supra gets around Hair Razor there in the confusion of caused by that. We see Petrol looking to make a move on the inside of Doug here. But Doug holds his line well on the outside. Petrol looking to shoot around on the outside now. Doug moves outside, takes it up for this line. This is for this corner. Ishmael goes very wide there. See Petrol and Super went through there side by side. See Doug is diving into the pits. Mike had already dove into the pits himself. So for the moment, Petrolhead has got the lead with Super here in 2nd. He's looking up the inside, but wasn't able to do anything with that. Ishmael is right behind him. Actually, that's Razor right behind him. I'm sorry. Ishmael is lurking behind there, and then Mike comes out in 5th place. Barr is almost close enough to witness this 5-way carnage here. 5-way battle. Woo, 3 wide. Going through the S's. That is a tough ask. Right now, Supra is trying to take the lead. He's trying to go around the hard weather. He sets him up for the inside here into. I used to know what these corners are called. The Degners? Degner 1, Degner 2, I think. By the way, Supra is now in the lead, having gotten around Petrol there. Razor is threatening on the inside, but so is Ishmael. Ishmael is now tucking in behind Razor in 4th. Stays he saw an opportunity. He tried to make it. He tried to take it. It didn't work. Razor moving to the inside of Petrol now. Woo! Petrol goes very wide. think Razor checked off. Yeah, Razor has checked up. And obviously, having believed himself to push Razor off, that sets them both back. Dropping from fighting for the lead to 4th and 5th place. This brings Supra, who just went wide out of 130R. He now has the lead, and Ishmael is in 2nd place. Just like it's been for the first half of the race before the pit sequences began. We have Mike in 3rd, Razor is in 4th, Petro diving into 5th, is in 5th, diving into the pits. I think he's had enough of those hards. Barr is coming in as I kind of expected he would. Try to get some fresh tires and some more fuel. Trone is here in 7th, kind of in no man's land. Doug is in 8th. He's going to move up to like 6th, with Petrol and Barr having gone to the pits. Type R is in 9th. He is too far back to be able to take advantage of those two pitting. And he's got the Viper of the TheDamCat in his rearview mirror. The TheDamCat is not giving up, apparently. Very rough start to the race, but he's still kicking. He's still going forward. He's still trying to be competitive here, but this track, that car, tough ask. And we have ATBs at the pits. Something may have gone on here. He's been in there for a while. Hopefully everything's alright with him. Maybe we'll see him back on track later. While they take a look at that Nissan. Meanwhile, Superboy is still in the lead here. He's got a smaller gap to Ishmael, but Ishmael is right there. He is close enough to do something, especially if Superboy makes a mistake. We have Mike here in 3rd. He's got Razor right behind him and closing in. Trone is in 5th place at the moment. He's long ways to anyone in front, long ways to anyone in back. And in the top 5, this is exactly where you want to be. Doug is in 6th. He wants to catch up to that Mercedes in front of him. Whether or not he's able to do so, time will tell. We have Petrol in 7th now. After having made a 2nd pit stop, he can probably presumably get back on mediums. He has got a long way to go to catch up to this guy in front of anyone in front of him. That's this guy's first potential victim. It's going to be Doug Barrow. We'll see if he can. We'll check on him later to see if he closes in. We have Barr by his lonesome in 8th. We have Type R trying to fend off the TheDamCat here at 9th and 10th. Battle for what is amounting to be last place with ATB having to have his car inspected in the pits while they look for something going on. Coming back to the front, we see Superboy still leading the charge. Ishmael has closed in that little gap that had developed, and he was once again back in lurk and or pressure mode. I think Ishmael is just going back and forth between just lurking behind Supra and momentarily applying pressure here and there. We have Mike and Ray, who's feeling all kind of pressure right now from Hair Razor in 4th place. These two are again close together. This is basically where we were for the most part before the pit sequence began. The top 4 at least are as they were. See, this Ishmael didn't do anything there, just taking a different line. Supra takes a wide line through Spoon. Ishmael takes a more tighter line, I'm noticing. Coming to 130R. I dab with the brakes from Ishmael coming through as he tries to stay close to Supra going into the final chicane. Before we start the next lap, Razor has got around Mike. And now Mike is actually probably going to look to respond. Whether he's able to or not is a whole nother ball game. All these top 4 right now taking a defensive line through the home stretch. Mike, understandably so, because he wants to stay in Hate Razor's slipstream, and Assuming the same for Ishmael with Super. I just wanted to stay in the slip, so he stuck to the wall as Super had done. And Razor's trying to pull away from Mike now. He wants to close in on these two up front, trying to make it a three-way battle for the lead at some point. With 20 minutes to go. We're approaching the point of the race where if there's moves going to be made, they need to be made soon. This time is starting to become an enemy to the drivers in the race. We see Tro here in 5th. He has got no one in front of him for a while. And Doug is behind him, kind of standing pat from when we last checked. Not really closing in, not really pulling away. See Petro, though, he is gaining on Doug. A lot closer than he was the last time we checked. We have Barr here in 8th. We have TheDamCat here in 9th. He's gotten around the BMW of Type R for the time being. Can he stay there? That is another question entirely. For what we've seen so far, this guy can't say that he's going to stay in front of Type R. It's been too mistake prone throughout the race. And we're coming through the S's, we see. Yeah, there he goes. Like Type R is getting that position back while TheDamCat does, I think, a pretty decent job just keeping it on track. Having gone through the grass there yet again. And ATB still in the pits. They haven't found out what's going on with that Nissan yet. Meanwhile, back in the ranch, we have Superboy still leading the charge. He's got Ishmael right there behind him. At this point, no more than half a second behind. Like I said, it's about time for Ishmael to make his move. He's going to. He's running out of time. 18 minutes to go. He's got Razor right behind him as well, threatening to make a move, especially if Ishmael happens to make a mistake. We have Mike right behind Razor, well, a little bit behind Razor, close enough to take advantage of any mistakes made in front of him. Not so close that he's subject to overspeed or anything like that. We see Doug is here in 5th. Oh, Doug is in 5th. Tron was there. What happened to Tron? Petro's here in 6th, and he can clearly see Doug now. Oh, he goes a little wide. That's going to slow him down a little bit. We see Barr here in 7th. Tron's on the outlap. He made that second. Tron had to make a second pit stop. That's unexpected and unfortunate. We see TheDamCat. He's here in 9th. He got back around Type R. He's trying to keep ahead of the BMW behind him, but this section here, that Viper is not gonna like through here. Type R should easily be able to keep close through here. And then coming through here, this has been that iffy moment for the Viper. This has been that iffy section for the Viper. But he makes it there nicely there. Coming back to the front, Superboy still leading the way. Ishmael still in 2nd, right behind. Razor still in 3rd, right behind. And Mike is right there, ready to pounce after a mistake by anyone in front of him. Razor is actually looking to apply pressure to the Audi. Can he induce a mistake in the Audi? Because Ishmael at this point has not really pushed. He's content to lurk behind Superboy, but now he's got a Porsche trying to apply pressure to him. Meanwhile, he's trying to keep close to this Ferrari in front of him. These four are all very close. Let's say all within 2 seconds of one another. We have Doug in 5th, way back. He's got Petro behind him, not as close as he was earlier. Whoa! Did Doug just go wide? Oh, Petro did. Not enough to get in the dirt, but enough to get on that slippery green stuff. That fake AstroTurf miss. Easy to cause a spin if you get on that. Trone Barr is still here in 7th with a half-second penalty. Trone is here in 8th. TheDamCat is here in 9th, and Type R in 10th. And they are still looking over that GTR. So far, they have not found what is ailing that machine. Meanwhile, we have Superboy likes what he sees behind him. We saw looked like for a second Ishmael and Razor side by side. That's going to potentially allow Superboy to run away, because now Ishmael's got to defend against a Hair Razor. He hasn't had to defend against in a while. These three are really close together. Ishmael is not too far behind Supra, but he's got to worry about that Porsche behind him, because we're in the last 15 minutes of this race, and Razor's looking to make a move. He's looking to finish his move to the front, and Micah looks like he just wants to follow the other Porsche once he gets around that Audi. Assuming, of course, Porsche gets around the Audi. Doug is still in 5th, but he's got Petro right there, and Petro is now lurking. He's no longer lurking. He is now threatening Ferrari Doug, trying to get back in the top 5. He wants to get back in that top fight as well, but time is definitely not on his side. He's got to get around Doug, and he has got to push like he's never pushed before if he's going to get back in that battle with the top 4 and have his shot at the podium. Barr's here in 7th, Trone in 8th, Type R is in 9th, and TheDamCat dives into the pits, all with only 4 liters of fuel left. It's a bit late to be making a pit stop though, but where are we to judge you? Alright. Supra is still in the lead. He's got a 3/4 of a second gap, I'd say, to Ishmael behind him, who's got about the same to Razor behind him, who's got about the same to Mike behind him. These 4 are all basically within 2.5 seconds of one another. And time is running out. We're down to the last 12 minutes of this race. Supra is needs to do whatever he can at this point to run away from Ishmael, who is himself trying to run away from the Porsche behind him, who's trying to attack and run away from the Porsche behind him. And these 4 are all running away from the Ferrari of Doug, who is defending it for his life against the Mercedes of Petro. Petro was looking like he might make a move within the next few corners if he can get the run out through here. Doug's got a sizable gap. Question is, can he keep that gap coming into this corner before going to the deck from Digger 1 to Digger 2? They're still close. Petro really closed the gap up there. He is on the rear bumper of that Ferrari. Doug is defending, taking Petro. If he's going to take it, Petro's going to have to take it the long way around. They both get a little squirrely, and Doug lives to fight another day. Trone's still in 7th. Barr came out of pits in 8th. Type R is in 9th, all by his lonesome. TheDamCat by his lonesome with a half-second penalty in 10th. And they're still inspecting that GTR. Nothing doing so far, it seems. Superboy is still holding on to the lead. Ishmael's still in second, Razor in third, and Mike is still in fourth. Oh no! Razor diving into the pits. Very late pit stop. 10 minutes to go. That might be fatal for his podium chances. We see Doug trying to go the hard way around Doug. Doug is going to go defensive, and I'm expecting to see Petro juke out to the right here, but Doug cut that off when he also juked to the left. Cut that off. A little tap from the rear and from Petro and Doug, but continue on they go, and Razor comes out right behind these two. That means now that Mike has got that last podium spot, and there is a sizable gap between Mike and Doug still. Ishmael is now no longer has the threat of Hair Razor, so he is now looks to finally go on the attack against Super Hair, forcing Super to actually begin defending to hold the lead. The funny thing is, Ishmael seems to be able to do this attack without would still be able to build a gap over the car behind. Mike is right there. He can lurk. He can take advantage of any mistake that these two making, but right now he's really too far back to be able to make a move. He's got to close in on these two, and if these two start battling hard, that will allow him to close in. Ishmael peeked to the inside. That may have been just to get a little bit of clean air for the corner. Coming to the final chicane. Ishmael is right there on the side, tugged into that rear bumper of Superboy, the Ferrari Super. Now Ishmael's going to try to he's following Super through that defensive line, just trying to stay in the slipstream. And Mike follows the same line for the same reason. Let's check on Doug and Petro. Petro is still attacking here. He is still applying pressure. He is trying to get around this Ferrari. Does the Mercedes have enough grunt to pull ahead of this Ferrari? He's making a move up the end. He looked up the inside, but wasn't quite up there. Doug continues to hold fourth here. Going back to the front, we see Supra still holding off Ishmael. Ishmael's again kind of back at that lurk pressure distance. Mike is kind of at that same point where he's close enough to where he can do something if Ishmael makes a mistake and is really pushing it there. He might actually be able to could have thought about attacking coming out of that corner if he would have gotten a good run. I think their Audi got the better run than the Porsche. However, that does enable Superboy to pull ahead of here a little bit. It's about a 3/4 second gap between Super and Ishmael now, and about a half second gap from Ishmael to Mike. We have Doug still fending off Petro behind him. There's a decent little gap there. Petro's going to have to come in hot if he's going to make a move here. But it looks, unless Doug makes a mistake, but he doesn't, that we can tell yet. Petro's got to get a better exit in order to close the gap, but Doug survives another lap. Razor's here in 6th. He's lurking. He's not close enough to do anything. And if Doug makes a mistake, he might not be able to take advantage, but Petro makes a mistake, he might be able to. See Tron here in 7th, R in 8th, Type R in 9th, TheDamCat in 10th. We see Superboy here, still leading the way. He's got Ishmael right there, about 3/4 second behind, who's got it, and Mike is a half second behind Ishmael still. Mike might be thinking about attacking here. If he's able to get a good run out of the S's, and he is right there, he's close enough. He can definitely at least pressure. Ishmael maybe induced a mistake in the Audi driver, but so far no dice. The gap's not really growing, nor is it closing between Ishmael and Superboy at the moment. Mike is right there. Mike could push Ishmael ahead and try to himself gain second, but we'll see. There's a few different ways this can play out in favor of Super Ishmael and Mike. But Super right now is the one in charge. He is in the lead with 4.5 minutes to go. Question is, can Super continue to hold off Ishmael? When I did back here to Petrol, who's built the gap over Petrol over behind Doug. Then we have Razor, still Strome, still Bar, still Type R, still the TheDamCat. It's like to be. Oh, Super gets off there. That is going to allow Ishmael to be there. That was the mistake Ishmael's been waiting on. That was the mistake Ishmael's been waiting on. This is Ishmael's opportunity to attack. But the Superboy holds that line tightly. Closes the door on him. He does not allow Ishmael to take the inside. And now it is 3 cars up one, up the jump of the other. Super has maybe a 1/4 second gap between him and Ishmael right now. Any one of these corners, if Superboy makes the slightest mistake, you might find that Audi's right beside him. And a similar thing with Ishmael and Mike. Mike is right there with him as well. Ooh, Super gets a little fishtaily, but he got a better exit out of the Dagners. 3 minutes to go. Super and Ishmael and Mike. 1, 2, 3, and this is these two in particular. Super and Ishmael have been. This is how they've been all race long. Mike is for almost the majority of the race been lurking here in this podium position, this 3rd or 4th position as well. And we see Petrol at some point did get to make the move on Doug, and Razor's looking. Razor might have enough time to close in on Doug, especially if he makes a mistake, to gain one more position. If Trone here in 7th, Type R still in 8th, with Bar still in 8th, Type R still in 9th, and the TheDamCat still in 10th. Coming into the final chicane, we see Ishmael looking like he might take a wide line through here. Try to get that quicker line through, get a better exit, setting up to get a better exit. And a better exit he does get, but Super had too much of a gap for him to be able to take advantage here. This is probably the final lap of the race. We are less than 2 minutes to go. Coming into turns 1 and 2. Ishmael is right there. If Ishmael is going to make a move, he has got to do it now. This is very likely the final lap of the race. Super is holding on, fighting for his life to try to hold on to the lead. Keep Ishmael behind him. Ishmael, who has won, if I remember correctly, Ishmael has won the last 2 or 3 rounds of this series. This is 2 in a row. Last 2 in a row rounds. Ishmael has been the victor. Super knows he's got that pressure on him now. He has got to do everything he can to keep Ishmael behind him, to break that streak. Can he do it? This is Super's got maybe a half-second gap right now. There's like a 3/4 second gap between Ishmael and Mike. Coming around Spoon. Super's just built up the gap a little bit to Ishmael, but it's not over. Ishmael got the better exit. Ishmael is closing in, and he is closing in quickly on the Ferrari of Superboy. 130R. Ishmael goes wide. He's carrying a lot more speed through 130R than Superboy did. I think Superboy might have just gotten just enough of an exit to hold on to the win. Ishmael holds on second, Mike in third. Doug has gotten back around Petrol. What happened? Oh, Petrol fell 2 positions. Petrol must have made a mistake. Doug is in 4th place. He's got Razor behind him. And actually looks like there's actually a sizable gap between Razor and Petrol. Doug finishes 4th. Razor is going to take home in 5th. Petrol's pushing may have gotten the better of him. That may have been what caused him to fall back into 6th from 4th. Tron is here in 7th. Solid finish for this guy. GG's. We have Barr here in 8th. Sizable gap. Tron, but it is what it is. He's done his good job. Kept it clean. Kept mostly clean. More fair and consistent as well. Didn't see Barr in too much trouble. And he, got a little squirrely there as I said that. But he brings it home in 8th. And the last man going, Type R. It was good to see him on track because he actually, remember correctly, he had surgery just the week before. So it was a question mark that he was even going to make this race. It was good to see him. He's there. Kept it nice, clean. Didn't like Barr. Didn't really see him in too much trouble. And the last man to finish, we have Type R, and apparently they never found out what was going on with ATP. And so this is the final results of this race. Superboy holds on to the lead. He had a couple of moments where he could have lost it, but in the end he was able to get just a good enough of an exit out of the final chicane to keep the win, break the win streak that Ishmael was enjoying up into this round. But Ishmael was there. He finished 2nd. Mike finishes in 3rd. Doug in 4th. Razor in 5th. Petrol does come home with the fastest lap, finishing in 6th. Tron Kobe in 7th. Barr in 8th. Type R in 9th. TheDamCat in 10th. And ATB unfortunately had to park it in the pits. Ooh. This was a fun round, a fun race. Hope you enjoyed it. And so next week for this, we'll be doing, next week is the next round, round 4 of the Elantra Trophy. It is at, I don't remember the track, but that'll be next week. And the next round of this is at Nürburgring in 2 weeks. I hope to see y'all there. Hope y'all enjoyed. Take care.